Creative Live and Betika Ghana play with the champions. There's so many ways to keep enjoying the things you love with MTN just because everything is made simple just for you. On MTN, you get to enjoy convenience when and anywhere you top up your MTN account. Just top up your credit by using mobile money or my MTN app. You can also purchase it from any vendor at a recommended retailer price and get a 100% bonus. Now remember to demand the same value. Retailers who do not comply will be sanctioned accordingly. Yeah, it's super simple and convenient, and that's why we're good together. And get 5 CDs free bonus. In addition, Betika is awarding 10 lucky winners who have registered today with 50 CDs bonus. Screenshot and send your Betika registration code and phone number. More Sika in the home of champions. There's Fala, Daily Jackpot, a lot of casino games. Betika is registered by the Gaming Commission of Ghana and not for sale to persons and not for persons below 435518. So 4 years ago, a gentleman decided to serve Ghana in a special way. Yeah, he was enjoying his work in his consulting room, seeing people, helping people get better at life and get healthier. But he thought, why can't I do more than that? Why can't I spread the word a lot more so a lot more people can hear, about health knowledge and all. Well, for 4 straight years, every Wednesday, he comes all the way from Mampo Ekwapim to educate us so we can know what to do to be healthy. His name is Superman's father. Yes. Today, I salute you. Today, I think we should all give you a round of applause. I mean, you've been doing this for 4 years. You deserve a round of applause. Yeah, 4 years. Wow. Charlie,
Yeah, Philip.
God bless you. Hey. And within that period, we've talked about God knows how many conditions people have sought for help, and you've been there. God bless you.
Thank you, Bobby, for the very kind words. And yes, it's been 4 years.
Wow.
It just came to me last week, and I was like, wow. we've been doing this.
Yeah,
and
we've
I
been doing
remember
this for 4
the
years.
photo we took the first day after the show.
Oh, yeah?
Yes,
Do you still have it?
I still have it. I think we'll put it up.
Yeah, one of
after
these
the
days, it
show,
should be
yeah.
our throwback picture. Yeah.
So yes, a lot of good information, education, and then in a fun way. And if I look back and the number of individuals that have done something good in a very different way, so yeah, very happy.
So
but
thank you
it's
so
also
much.
a very good break from the routine of my work.
Okay,
Consulting
yeah.
room, theater, coming here and spending time with all of you guys here.
Yeah.
It's just a very different way of working from what most people know as the job of a doctor. And I absolutely love the time I spend here.
I think at some point as well, you could be a lecturer. Have you thought about it?
Absolutely. I think
Because,
teaching
I find you very knowledgeable. You know what I mean? And
Thank you.
your patience to explain things. And I need to emphasize, and people need to know that it's not just on radio. Like, even if I come to you to explain or even to seek medical attention,
Right.
you take your time to break the thing down. I'm like, Doc, mommy, you're doing nothing quite now. By the time I'm done, I understand like what causes this, what are the effects, well, even treatment. I say, I am a doctor now. I am a working doctor. If it's set to I don't get 8 years medical school, I don't mean young time. But right now, you puts me in a
You do the
consulting room.
stuff. Come from a family of teachers anyway. You know my mom is a teacher.
Okay, yeah.
And then my uncle, who
Yeah.
I'm named after, is also a teacher. So maybe it's in the genes.
It is.
But
it is.
I really like that. I think when people know, they make better choices.
Yeah.
So I think that's what informs my approach, to patients.
Charlie, if you have any very nice words to say to doctor, you can WhatsApp me on 055 1111997. I'm so happy.
I thought you were going to announce the Momo number that they can send them.
They'll send it to me and I'll send it to you. If you have any Momo for doctor, send it to me and I'll send it to them. Anniversary Momo. Anyways, Hey, thank you so much for
Right.
coming, Doc. We have, as
pleasure.
usual, we
Yeah.
have an issue. And so
Let's go.
we would definitely need your help on this for one of our very good friends
Right.
who he's 48 years actually. He lives in community 25, Tema.
Okay.
Now he says, I recently had a terrifying experience, which I want to share with you and the drive doctor. I was at work when I had the urge to urinate, but because I had a lot of workload, I put it back until I could no longer hold it anymore. So towards the end of the urine stream, I noticed bright red blood from my penis.
Wow.
I almost fainted from the sight. This is not the first time, I must admit. During my first year at Poly, some 28 years ago, I had a similar experience. Once and no more. It was painless. I am scared. I am now, in quotes, it says, making it in life. I had a tough childhood growing up in Japan along the Volta Lake. I hope the drive doctor can tell me it is nothing.
Wow. So, good afternoon to all our listeners. And Kwame, unfortunately, I'm not able to tell him it is nothing. But it may not be blood in the urine or bloody urine.
That's what it is.
Yes.
So the bright red bit is blood
It's blood
in the urine.
in the urine.
From the penis?
Yes, from the
Hey.
penis. At the end of the urine stream.
Hey.
That to be very common to the point that they think that the boys are also having their menses because it happens very often. There are a few points that I would like to raise in his story that we should tap on, and he mentions the Volta Lake.
Yeah.
These are very important pointers
Really?
in terms of what could be happening, the diagnosis.
Okay.
Right. So, Kwame, today we're going to talk about bloody urine. And the medical term we use is hematuria.
Hiwai.
Kwame, we don't have to do a certificate.
Tobo to when we do.
So we're going to talk about hematuria, bloody urine.
Okay.
Right. So hematuria is defined as the presence of blood in the urine. Bloody urine is never a normal event. So it's one of those red flags. You're not supposed to have it for you to say, oh, it was just small blood, or it came once and it stopped. No, it is a symptom that should never be ignored because you are never supposed to find blood in the urine.
I'm just, I don't know, shaking. I
Yes,
mean,
because
the
you
sound
take
of it.
for granted that
Yeah.
every time you urinate, it's either clear or it's yellowish and all of that. But
Yeah.
all of a sudden, if you find blood in there, it could be a very, very frightening sight, as it was for him. The blood can be visible to the naked eye, or sometimes we find the blood, or the laboratory scientists will find the blood during what we call a routine urine examination under the microscope.
Okay.
So you can have what we call a microscopic hematuria, or you can have the color of blood in the urine may not necessarily or may not always be bright red. So most of us know blood to be red in color, but then there are different shades of red. And some, it can be dark brown, could be pink, then it could be like fresh blood. So we've all had a cut before, so we know what fresh blood looks like. Sometimes you can actually have clots in the urine as it comes out. So dark brown may be urine, maybe really always be blood as well.
Okay.
There are certain dietary factors, like eating beetroot.
Okay.
So if you eat beetroot, for example, in these caveats that, you don't just jump and say, okay, my urine was dark red or deep red or red brown, and therefore maybe hematuria. When we take a dietary history and you're eating beetroot, but I also don't want you to sit back and say, oh, I'm eating beetroot, so that's why my urine is like that. It's always better to let your doctor make that determination. Now, Kwame, what are the patterns of bleeding? You may have one, what we call total hematuria. In this stream, the moment you let go, the urine is flowing, it all looks bloody. And this usually suggests the patterns of what we call the urine tract. Urine is formed in the kidneys, and then it tracks all the way down until, like your doctor, the site of the problem.
Okay.
So we all need to pay attention to the pattern of bleeding. So if you have what we call a total hematuria, meaning the blood is uniformly mixed with the urine, and right from onset to the last drop, it is all bloody, it usually suggests an origin in the kidneys, the ureters, which are the tubes that connect the kidneys to the bladder, or the bladder itself, the storehouse of urine. It could be that that's where the problem is coming from. So at least it narrows it down a bit. Then you can also have something we call terminal hematuria. Terminal hematuria. And that is what our friend talked about. At the tail end of the urine stream, then you begin to see the blood. So you start to urinate and it's fine. It appears like you're normal. Then at the tail end of it, you begin to see a bit of blood. So that we call terminal hematuria, as opposed to the first pattern, which we call a total hematuria. Then the last pattern of bleeding.
But what would that suggest? It's originate the problem is from?
Right. So it suggests that the problem comes from the bladder most of the time.
Okay.
If you're having a terminal hematuria, then the bladder is the area that your doctor would want to focus. Sometimes it can also come from a part of the urethra. The urethra is also the connection, if you like. Then the third pattern of bleeding is what we call the initial hematuria. So terminal and then initial. So the blood is more conspicuous at the beginning of urination.
Okay.
And it largely suggests an origin from the urethra, which is a connection between the bladder, and as you let go, then as the urine is flowing, it sort of like dilutes it and it doesn't become so obvious.
Okay. If you have questions in regards to what we're talking about, you can WhatsApp us on 055 1111997. But what causes all of this?
Right. So before we jump into the causes, I need to mention that this bleeding, the hematuria, it can either be painless or it can be painful. And I need to make this point because of our health-seeking habits as Ghanaians. Unfortunately, our approach most of the time is, if it's not painful, I don't go to the hospital or I don't talk to a healthcare professional about it. We've realized that in as high as 60% of cases with a painless hematuria, they tend to have a cancerous condition.
Hey.
So that health-seeking habit that says, I only seek help if it is painful, it's not good.
Okay.
So let's go to the causes of hematuria. What are the possibilities? Number one, medicines. Unfortunately, some of the medicines that your doctor will put you on for one medical condition or the other may lead you to bleed. So Kwame, we sometimes put our patients on blood thinners. So we talked about blood clots the other time on the show.
Yes.
So a doctor may want to put you on a blood thinner. And if the dose is not right, or when we usually put you on a blood thinner, we would tell you that, advise you not to eat certain foods, greens or green leafy vegetables, because they tend to exacerbate the effect of the drug. So sometimes medicines that we give, particularly blood thinners, can cause you to bleed in your bladder, for example, and then you will have a hematuria. If we take the drug away, the hematuria stops.
Okay.
Another cause that we can have a range of medical conditions, and maybe we'll find time and talk about this particular condition we call hemophilia. And I think last week or 2 weeks ago was World Hemophilia Day. I'm not so sure. But hemophilia is a medical condition where you bleed without stopping. All of us bleed. You can have a gum bleed. After a while, it stops, a few seconds. If you've got normal, what we call clotting factors. But there are some individuals who have a genetic condition where they bleed non-stop. So you can have medical conditions also like leukemia, which affects your blood cells. One of them is the clotting cells, and it may cause you to bleed as well, the urine. So one of them is what we call polycystic kidney disease, where you have a lot of cysts forming in the substance of the kidney. It may also lead to that. Another is prostate disease. All right, diseases of the prostate. most commonly what we call BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, where the prostate is enlarged and it has no malignant condition in it. But the enlargement and because can also lead to a bloody urine. So the prostate in itself with disease, either benign disease or cancerous, can lead to that. Climate trauma. Somebody can kick you down there. And then the urethra gets damaged. Example, in men, can lead to bloody urine. You'll probably have an initial hematuria. If you're sitting astride a bicycle, riding, and then cause you to have some hematuria.
Okay.
So generally trauma, even to the kidney, somebody gives you, a blow or you're struck in the area of the kidney, in your flanks. You may subsequently bleed. But you may think that, oh yes, I got hit in my flanks, okay, so why am I bleeding in my urine? So trauma to the kidney, trauma to the bladder, and trauma to the urethra, in this case the penis in men, can all lead to that. And then lastly, infections. A urine tract. No, this is not just for men. It's just that for women, the urethra, which is the connection between the bladder and then the outside, is very, very short. And for women, all you see is the opening in the vulva, and then the urine comes out. So women also have a urethra. But for men, we have a longer urethra, which runs the entire length of the penis and connects the bladder to it. But women have a bladder, women have ureters, and women...
Entire length. You make it long like the thing is already long. It's already short. That thing is short.
It's short,
You have a long urethra and it runs the entire length, like it's 1 kilometer. My guy, let me open the phone line then. Well, 0302216541. If you have any questions for the Drive Doctor, you can call in. Or you can send a WhatsApp message on 05511. Taking blood tonic as well. Can that also darken your urine?
Oh, no. So most blood tonics are iron-containing medicines. If because of the iron it contains.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And what's your name?
My name is Henry. I'm calling from Autopass. I want to ask. Sometimes you can see some. It's not like blood, but like after urine, you can see some white discharge. I want to ask the dog what is it about.
Urethral infection, a urethritis, of the an infection of the urethra. So that could be an infection. It has to be investigated.
Okay. So how do you manage this? Is it curable? Can you?
Right. So
or what do we need to do to avoid it?
Okay. So because the causes are so varied, that's the shortened form of it, schisto. Right. They used to call it bilharzia.
Ah.
Yes.
I remember that one.
Exactly. But we call it schisto now, or schistosomiasis. That's the full name. Where you have it's a parasitic infection that the parasite lays its eggs in the bladder.
Hey.
And then it can cause you to basin. So all the communities along the Lake Volta are high risk areas for schistosomiasis, which is what I think our friend who said he lives in Japan.
Japan, yeah, he said he's in Japan.
Yes. So I'm sure when he was a young boy, he used to go close.
Dive into the lake.
Exactly, dive into the lake. So they use it to bathe. They have fun in there. They will fetch water for cooking, washing, and that's where you get the infection. And it can be long term. The parasite will lay its eggs in there, and it can be many years before you have a problem.
Interesting.
So we always take a history going back.
Okay. Let me get on the line now. Hello. Hello. Yes, sir. What's your name?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Mauli.
All right, Mauli, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was like 10 years, I passed urine, which is bloody.
Okay.
And so they took me to Kolebu.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had me to urinate frequently.
Right.
And then
Serial urine collection.
it started coming normal. But I think they gave me medicine also.
Right.
But I've forgotten.
Exactly what it was.
Yeah, because now I'm grown.
Right. Right.
But at a point in time, I did medical something. They put a tube through my manhood
Mm-hmm.
to
To visualize
I
the
can
bladder.
barely hear of you.
Yeah, so sometimes we put a tube through the urethra, the penis, and then it has a camera at the tip.
Yeah.
And
That's
at
so
that
that
time,
we're able to
the
visualize the
doctor,
bladder.
Yeah, go ahead.
The doctor said, "Have I urinated blood before?" And I said yes. At that time, I was very young. So I'm asking whether in future, like I'm in my 50s, but
Right.
whether it can worry me again.
When we talked about the causes, so many different, and they are varied from trauma to infections and so on and so forth. So once we suspect that the problem is coming from the bladder, and we look in there, do that procedure. So some people go and do endoscopy. Sometimes we will have some suspicious lesions, especially in our country, since we know that this is an endemic area, or schisto is endemic in this part of the country. If you ever give us a history of having passed bloody urine, most of the time we'll examine the urine. If we find some eggs, if we don't even find, we may want to examine the bladder, and then sometimes take a biopsy if you have a suspicious lesion, and send it to a pathologist to give us a definitive diagnosis.
Okay.
So he should get a regular follow-up with a...
Actually, most of them are to say thank you to you. So let me just read some of them. I really want to read some of them. Lexis, I was at Medicas Mampo on Monday with my son, and Dr. Safo is like a teacher in the consulting room. He makes you feel at home and lectures you on your condition in a very simple way. After that, he asks if you have a question. That's from Mabel in Oyarifa. Thank you, Mabel. Millie says, I really enjoy the company of the drive doctor. He's very lovely. Yeah. Lexis, in fact, the education I've had from the doctor is immense, and I want to tell him God bless him so much. His humor side is something else, and that's from Odumase Krobo.
Wow, nice. Thank you all.
Oh yeah, nada. So Zeno sends me a message from Somanya, and she says, Lexis, I'm a nurse by profession. I'm on my annual leave, and I would love to help at a doctor's hospital. Ask him if I can help at his facility.
Oh, sure.
And she sends a picture, a very lovely picture of her.
Oh, wow.
So if you don't have space, if you don't have space,
but we have space.
Oh, are you sure? I also have a hospital.
Okay, looking at the picture, I have space.
You have space.
We have space.
Charlie Doc, thank you so much.
01477-340.
Dr. Yao Safo is CEO of Medicas Hospital. Thank you so much, Doc. And cheers to 4 more years. 4 more to do more.
4 more to do more. I'm a pass over my head.
Kojo Menu. Kojo Menu. It was a campaign I told so much. Yo, Martin, Kojo, it's 5 o'clock. What's happening in news?
Headline news at 5. Now, a man